Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Now we're going to be putting a few little upgrade bits on this, some of which I'm going to be stealing off the GHM9-SD, which is the Gen 1 version of this gun. And I've also been playing around with that little spring guide setup and you seem to get a bit better response for it. So I'm going to be passing that over into the Gen 2. Now the first thing that I want to do is tap this pin out. So let's get a tap and a hammer. First, I'm going to tap the pin out of this one. Now this pin does come out easy. I've changed the clips around on all the pins, but we'll say with this back one, if you do swap it round like I have, which is, you know, the flat section in first, then it does make the pin really loose. So I'm going to be putting that back to how it was, because the pin being loose is more annoying than having to, you know, spend more effort trying to get this thing out when I'm taking it apart. So there we go. Let's pull the very weak recoil springs out here. I'm not a fan of these little recoil springs. There's just no power to them whatsoever. So to pull them out for now, as with the other GHM9, you know, the front ends are really loose on these. So we're going to be pulling that apart. Do I have the right Allen key? Nope. There we go. It's very simple. Screw on the top. And we have a screw on the bottom. They are different lengths, so the shorter one goes on the bottom there. And then we can slide off the handguard. Now I can't remember with this, do we have to take the barrel out? I don't think we do. I think we put an Allen key through there. And we've got a couple of grub screws if I remember correctly. So 1 and 2, and then that should release the front barrel. Is it going to play ball today? Oh, very tight indeed. I remember having a problem with these outer barrels on the Gen 1, so you see there, it's been screwed in so far that it's almost hitting, well it has been hitting the barrel on both sides, so we're going to pull that off there. On the one that we've put these parts into, we're going to take the suppressor off. Now this suppressor did clip like crazy. Same again, we've got a countersunk screw on the top, like that. We've got a countersunk screw on the bottom. Pull that off there, shorter one always goes on the bottom there. And you see we've got this really funky barrel. So 2mm Allen key. Back this one off. These come out much easier because they haven't been forced into the plastic. I think that's one area where they should improve on like the standard out the box guns. Just having that, even if it was cast metal, would be much better than the plastic, because it's just, for a material, it's far too soft. I can slide this barrel out here. I'm going to take that barrel. I'm going to slide that on to the Gen 2, if it wants to go in. Give it a little tap. That's still not seated. Need to go a little bit more. You hear the change in pitch, which means it's in there properly. Screw these Allen key grub screws down. one on the top and one on the bottom, and that will secure your barrel in place. Then we're going to take the very nice handguard off the Gen 1 and we're going to put that on the Gen 2. Simple as that. Screw in the bottom screw, screw in the top screw, so we have there's still a tiniest amount of movement, but there's literally, compared to the standard plastic handguards, it's solid as a rock. So with that done, we're going to pop the stock off the Gen 1. Try not to get confused which gun's which. So we're going to pop the stock off, set that to one side, and then we're going to put the spring guide back in. In fact, I don't know if we should keep the standard spring guide in for a bit. Yeah, maybe. I do need to work on getting some better of these springs done. So we're going to stick to the standard springs for now, because I want to keep testing it. And it's not going to be a fair test if I've swapped that part over. So we'll put that in. We can slide the stock on. That gets put in place. Line the pin up properly. Like that. We can slide the stock down. Catch your thumb in the process. So there's that. Now we can unpack the other bits. Now, I made a mistake here because I've put the stock on, which I shouldn't have done yet. Because what we're going to try is that folding charging handle. So let's take this back out. Pull that old one out. We've got a new one here, and this one folds. And you might ask, well, why do you want a folding charging handle? And the reason behind that, I'm going to have to tap this out so I can reset the bolt. Come on. This pin really doesn't want to come out. So you can just pull it out and then the bolt will slip forward. Make sure that's pressed down, which it is. Put it back together. Slide the springs and spring guide in. Short stroke is a great alternative to the problem, but I really do think these need stronger recoil springs. That'll work much better than a short stroke. Okay, so we've got that on. Now we have a folding charging handle. Now what's the difference? Why would you want this? Because standard one normally sits there like that, and look how much further it sticks out. This can snag on your gear. You know, it can get stuck. I mean, you can swap it over from side to side, but if you're a lefty, you're going to want it on the left-hand side. And what this part does, much like an APC9, gives you the ability to charge it, but then it flops out the way, so it keeps the side of the rifle nice and flat to the receiver. Really do like that. But then the final icing on the cake is this gorgeous big suppressor. I'm just going to open this up and quickly check it. So it's, sorry for that noise, it's horrendous. A very similar system, so you've got a slightly shorter suppressor compared to the SD kit that normally has. Very much similar. Looks like they've improved the machining on the threads. And then you've got another cap which opens it up wider. So you'll see, if you watch a lot of gun tubers or firearm stuff on YouTube, you'll see that a lot of SD kits are using this, like with the GHM9s and the GH9s and the other B&T models that they do. And what I would be wanting to do with this after it's screwed in. See, the handguard does still move. I mean, I think what would benefit with that is if you could do some kind of spacer to hold the handguard a bit more strongly in place. I think they just need to improve the tolerances. Maybe the CNC receiver helps this. You know, Lander, if you're listening, I'm going to be cheeky now. A CNC receiver would go a long way with this. Be the final piece to the puzzle. But you can see how cool this looks. So, real technology wise, with the real counterparts, they have like a, it's almost, I think, similar to the old MP5 SD. So the barrel vents from here, so they're made like really quiet, and you've got this 2-stage suppressor. It's really chunky. If that was nice and solid and didn't move, it'd be perfect. It also looks like the handguard's slightly off in terms of it's pointing down slightly, but neither there or there. We've got the front end we want, we've got the stock we want. Slap a magazine in. Let's clean up these bits and just pop them over to one side here. So there is the GHM9 as I wanted to build it. Like I say, that CNC top cover, the receiver, that would be great if anyone's got one of these and you can confirm that the handguard then sits a lot tighter and more square. That would be very good. I'm just looking for a red dot. See if we can pop a red dot on there. And I'm coming up short. I'm trying to find something that will suit. Small, squarish looking red dot. Maybe we'll have to leave that for another day if I can't spot anything. I don't think I spot anything. I've got one somewhere, not sure what I've done with it. So I'll have to pop another little red dot on there. I don't think I'd go for grips with this. I'd like it nice and sleek. It's very James Bond, isn't it? So you got that, and then you pull the stock out when you want to, do your business, slip it back down, and away you go. This just, you'll see it with the spacing on the barrel. That's straight, and it can be pushed down like that. So either or, this thing looks absolutely astonishing. I'd even be slightly tempted to recolour this, because I've seen one of these on B&T website that they do in FDE, and it looks absolutely phenomenal. So here it is. We're going to keep progressing with this GHM9, but I'm falling more in love with this than I ever did with the G model. And that's nothing against the G model. G model's still good. I just think this model makes more sense. So hope you've enjoyed that. If you have, let me know in the comments below. Any questions, put them down in the comments below. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Check out the description for the links. Check them out. It'd be heavily appreciated. But as always, from me and from Bench, we'll see you in the next video.